You missed me. I'm back. I'm back. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's good to be missed. It's good that you missed me. It's good to be missed. Ain't it? Chibiongo in the view. You missed my analysis. I'm Kale Bati. For sure, it's been long. Where are you going, sweetie? Alright. Right. It's been years. Yeah, I'm back. Vanengi Daniels, I'm back. Vashit Joy. I hope I pronounced that well. Kasuba, hi! How are you? Wabwali amulifia bueno. But Douglas mlenga mudishani. I'm very well, thank you. Barry. Let me do some shout outs. But Honest Chungu. Loveness J. Good evening. Give us direction. Me as your follower, what to choose. What you choose, I go for it. Muhammad. Queen Cobra is back. Yes, I'm back. Odimuno Valuska Flachan. Varos Daka, how are you? Irelangawa Justin Daka. Is it? Yeah, Justin Daka, yeah. Vera, I conda you to Chichi, Walia, Basam, Badani, Mwila, Cabs, Animlenga, Denisi, Walia, Douglas, Siaka Vui, I think, Just Zambia, Honorable Braston Yangala, Amos Musonda. Is it Felicastine Kaile, something like that? Joseph, Lucius, Hobson, Smartembo, Dora Chilembo, Goodwill, Rob. Ish, guys, you missed me. Jesus Christ. Chile Shekanga, Carolina Yuyi, Mulenga Kasonde, Leonard, Charles Peary. Next time, don't go for a holiday for too. I didn't even go for too long. It was like a week, less than a week maybe. Ernest, guys, Daniel Mutonga, Mbemba, Prudence, Felicastina, much love for you. Thank you, Achisulo, Joffrey, Mlenga Chilufia. Edward, I'm not bringing people live. We have to do an analysis first. Maybe I can open phone calls later. But Julius, Evans, Alex Chanda, Tiara Thompson, CJ Jonathan, Joseph Mwape, Manase Kangwa. Vacation is nice. You're even glowing. Valentrita, 10 years anniversary. Umuntu afira glow ngabaksta treat fira ranga yalanga uguchi chiyongo chari umfa wina nari mwaitini Caro Shadrick Honorable Andrew Lungu. Mfuira mwa mwana chishinga che ali mwitini. Mwae mwana kwa irenda. Guys kale. Jesus. It's been a while since I did a live. Wow. Good to be missed. Charity. Hi. Bachisenga, Mary Rose, Ras BJ, Joseph Piri, Queenie, Emmanuel Musonda, David Adawe, Takuye wa my sister Chari Kale, Sanko, watching from Kalulusha this evening, Henry Mutonga, thank you, Chitty Jeff, Frank Pito, SG Favor, Victor Sampa, Edwin Chirwa, Mukankata Joffrey, Yandi Mulenga, hi. I was also bringing him this. Prince, Bright Kombe, Wadiachi, hi Walia, how are you? Tikambewe, Vana Gape, Clownes Nglube, Alex Kunda, congratulations, well, thank you very much. Isaac Katuta, Hope Ngoshemin. Guys, Kapia Lukanga Johnson, Rushas, Lydia, Pietro, is it? Something like that. Good evening, Chair. Watching you from Mufrida, Kantanch, Kurishan Kantanch, Kumwesuka. Hadoji Hatsanga, the return. Hadoji, where's Why Me? Who's using Why Me's page? Richie Yongozono, Duakle, Cafewa, Adamwa, Clinton, Joseph M. Right. So how far have we gone? We are 691. Maybe if we go for 1K. Let's try and go for 1K because I want to do this analysis. My analysis tonight is about talking about Chabinga's audio. Okay? I knew you were waiting for me to do an analysis on this. And I'm here to do it. The analysis of Chabinga's audio. So let's share this live so that it reaches the masses. Okay? You obviously, I cannot let you down. We cannot have such an audio and people claim it's AI and you think Chair will just let it pass like that. It doesn't work like that. It shall not work like that. I was very much worried about my Chair, not seeing very much now happy. Guys, I needed a break. I needed that break. I needed to. It has been so much. You know, with the passing of Edgar Chagwalungu, I needed that break. Then kaya ine. Ina mkese wana then kamba kurumba ba UPN. Kumka mba nishi. Na swamu bandisha. They've managed ukundisha. We are waiting for me. Yes, let's reach at least 1K so that we talk about this audio. It cannot go as AI and you just think, oh, it is AI icon about it. It doesn't work like that. We are about this viral audio. Analyze the issue. We are about this. That's what we are here for. Yes, we are analyzing this audio. And today actually I've got everything set up. Well, you have something to look forward to. I'm having a podcast. I'm setting up a podcast, which I will start very, very soon. We're going international. So, I've got things set up. I'm setting up, like, if you can see, I stopped showing search. Let me just show you something. Let me do this. So I've got everything now, getting ready. I've got like my microphone that side, all getting ready, setting up. So it's coming along nicely. In the meantime, we'll continue with the live analysis. So yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. So good evening, Zambia. Good evening, everybody. Munishani wonse wa mayo batata konso komlengu fila. Let's dive into this analysis. I think I've said hi to everyone enough. If I've not, good evening to everybody. I missed you as much as you missed me. And Zambia Charities too will continue doing what's good for our country. We'll continue talking. So, first of all, I want to make it clear All right, there's some situations whereby abantu barera the chair. You know, we need a leader. We need somebody who's going to lead by opposition and things like that. And the people are eager to hear what my view on that is. And I think I posted it. A post. I said, there is no way I can start talking about some ECO successor when ECO is still in the mortuary, when we've not buried ECO. It's absolutely, it is disrespect to the memories of President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Therefore, I will not start endorsing people. I will not start saying, oh, we are Monica Winu, we are Stashan. You know, it's not. It doesn't work like that. Life does not work like that. I'm not the type of person that will just jump on a wagon. I don't work like that. I don't operate like that. Okay? As a person that had so much interaction with President Edgar Lungu, it will be insulting for me before tatula shika, before echiro tatula pasa. Ukwambokula chita indosa abantu, okuranda who's next likely to take over and things like that. As far as I'm concerned, inchirindero shaine. As far as I'm concerned, President Lungu's death has not been sorted, and until when we put him to rest in South Africa, and I'm saying in South Africa because bringing Edgar Chagwa Lungu to Zambia will be an insult to his memories, will be an insult to everything that he stood for. It will be an insult to the political party that made him president of this country, given what has transpired since his death. You cannot claim to say we are going to bury Edgar Chagwa Lungu with dignity. Live mulekani ama supporters bakwa Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Ukufuara rigaria yakwa Edgar Chagwa Lungu. You use your surrogates, you use your ECZ people to now issue statements that the people that matter to Edgar Chagwa Lungu, his supporters should not wear the party regalia in regard with elections because they are not participating. First of all, who destabilized PF and what made PF not to participate? The law that Mwamba ECZ came up with within your area was that a political party has to be signed by a president and an SG. Irifunde ni mwa UPND mwapangile through your ECZ. First of all, you hijacked the Patriotic Front. You changed the names of the Patriotic Front. The people that held the Patriotic Front, Mugushiku, mwachinjama names. First, let's go back. What made Edgar Chagwa Lungu to come back into active politics? First of all, he himself, according to his words, said, you persecuted his family. And he felt helplessly, such that he had to come back into active politics. But on top of that, you took away the political party that made him president of this republic. So he was forced, you by UPND, you forced Edgar Chagwa Lungu to come back into active politics. First of all, you stopped him from doing anything. As a human being, he couldn't jog, he couldn't go to church. Everything was pointed to say, Ale Pangama politics. Using your surrogates like Tayali and you, who's this guy? Isaac Mwanza, you took a matter to court and said, you know, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, whatever he's doing is politicking. So you made sure that, first of all, you took away a political party that he stood on as a PF president. You destabilized PF using your surrogates. And at the time you used Mao Sampa, where he held a convention guarded by your state police. You, by UPND, you did that to the Patriotic Front, undemocratically. And we can all say, this were instructions from no other than Hakainde Hichilema himself. So Edgar Lungu came so that he fights for PF. And when Edgar Lungu came and when all the matters were in court, because Mao Samba took over PF on the 24th of October 2023. That was on Independence Day. Imwewa UPND, you gathered Mwamba, including Chabinga and all those surrogates that surrounded Mwamba at the time. On the 28th of October, on SATA's memorial service, 9th memorial service of SATA, Edgar Lungu announced his return into active politics. And mind you, at the time, the names that were occupying at the Registrar of Society were that Edgar Chagwa is the president of the Patriotic Front. At the time Edgar Lungu was announcing that he's back in active politics, the names that were appearing in Registrar of Society was that Edgar Lungu is the president of the Patriotic Front. When the matter was in court, what did you do by UPND? Hello? What we doing? What we doing? Oh, I know what you want. I know what you want. Let's do this. I know. Which one? Not that one. Cockatoo. Was it cockapella? Excuse me. That one. Mwana. Imwe UPND, Imwe. You embarked on ensuring that you destroy the Patriotic Front, a party that made Edgar Lungu president of this republic. When are you watch out? So Edgar Lungu came back into active politics. And when you realize that the Registrar of Society did not change the names, what did you do? Mwaire chinja umushiku. Mwaya chinja my names to Registrar of Society. There was a printout that Makembe Zulu got that showed that Edgar Lungu was still president and the names that were appearing in the Registrar of Society were for Edgar Chagwa Lungu. What did you do undemocratically? You went and changed the names. No kiabika po Mwamba as the PF president. Now, constitutionally, our constitution, you abrogated the constitution because our constitution does not allow a president of a political party to sit as member of parliament. In parliament, even when Mwashesta fall out with Mwamba, you went ahead and replaced Mwamba with Chabinga using the surrogate issue SG. You by UPND are the ones that are doing these things. At least the Kanshana Mwamba had the convention. Convention here is fraud. But when you replaced Chabinga, Mwamba with Chabinga, you used Ingona to appoint Chabinga as a PF president. And now you want to use Chabinga to destroy the Patriotic Front. Then on one end you want to claim that you want to bring Edgar Lungu. Edgar Lungu with dignity. Chabinga uingesa shika balungu. Ka Chabinga eko mwaneshte recently ku parliament kudia nefima UPND rigaria chanchanya chani kumuleka pokerera. Our constitution does not allow China Chabinga APF president. Chabinga is sitting in parliament unconstitutionally as an opposition leader was occupying the president of the Patriotic Front. Nef paper. And you want to claim that you're going to bury Edgar Chagwa Lungu with dignity. Edgar Chagwa Lungu is on record to say he cannot let the people that are destroying Sata's political party to preside over. Mwamba Hakainde, chino mwaile chakwa Sata, the 10th memorial that you went to Sata. It was not just going there for Sata. No! There was a reason why you insisted to go on that 10th memorial. This is why it's the same reason that you are insisting to preside over Edgar Chagwa's funeral. Hi, Poki. Commercial break. Now it's a first. Hey. What you doing? What you doing? Huh? What you doing? This one is okay. How about this? Balungu bakene atinshasangweko kuja because I cannot let the same people that are destroying Sata to go and preside over his funeral. It's the same reason why Lungu would not, so cannot allow President Hakainde to preside over his funeral. It is the very reason that Balungu said. In fact, let me tell you, Balungu saw how President Hakainde acted during Edith Nawakwi's death. And Balungu said, how can Hakainde Hichilema stand there at Totoro after everything that happened to Edith Nawakwi? Yet he has even the guts to speak over and preside over Edith Nawakwi. And he said, I will not, if I died today, this man should not be anywhere close to my funeral. Because the hypocrisy of the UPND government is unmatched. It is unprecedented. You at the same time, you are destroying the very party that is so loud. You are even stopping his supporters to wear the party regalia with his face on. Then you want to go and claim the essay court at no, we want it to so that we bury him. What dignity? What dignity do you want to bury Edgar Chagwalungu? There's nothing dignified about this nonsense that is happening. It is all spiritual. What is happening? It is spiritual. Nothing else. There's nothing about dignity. But before Taturashika Balungu, Mwala Sevan. Before we bury Edgar Chagwalungu, first Mule Sevana. Erok Sevana, na kwambakari. But before Edgar Lungu taraingira panshinshi, Mufida Musevan. What is dignified of everything that you are doing at the moment? Yeah? Where's the dignity in what you are doing at the moment? But South Africa to create at project whatever force whatever. They didn't even know what they were talking about. They talked about Zambia having elections in 2023. We never had elections in 2023. But you could see how disoriented they were. The information that was in you could see who's behind everything. Didn't you want to claim to say you want to give him a befitting burial? What can Hakainde Hichilema, what befitting burial can Hakainde Hichilema give to President Lungu? What befitting burial? Your supporters, everyone, all the medias, all they have done since Edgar Lungu died is to demean him, to insult him. Bali fikana kuyesenja kwa chiparina katumbi. Kadia na katumbi. Kadia na katumbi kadia. Eko mulefu wa emoba Hakainde Hichilema. You've not issued a single statement to stop your supporters from disrespecting the dead. You've not done that. But yet you claim, you lie. No, we are still engaging the family privately. Which family are you engaging privately? So, we don't want to talk about Tamano yo. And don't think people can't see. The Zambians can't see. Zambians can see. It's unprecedented. Broad daylight in Zambia. It is unprecedented. Dignified weka. I was even surprised when I heard you say there's no witchcraft. Where there is evil, there is good. The opposite of good is evil. So you cannot say Takwa Waburosh. What is the opposite of Christianity? Eh? What is the opposite of Christianity? If we're claiming to be Christian, why do we pray if there's no evil? If Takwa Waburosh. You are the same president that claimed that abantu abiri bale foku miro. Today you say, yo, Takwa Waburosh. And if I was a former army commander, the appointment, I would say no. There is no way somebody can appoint me and tell me do not be scared of death. Seriously. That appointment, Narisa Irodesha said, How can somebody appoint me and then he tell me to do not be scared of death? I don't know how to appoint me. That's thanks, but no thanks. Anyway, away from that. Uburoshi is real. And Uburoshi is being practiced in broad daylight. Uburoshi take effort to wire panda. No, fi chitwa. If you chit offer to chitwa, ero tuike de pesa mbadi achalo. Uburoshi wino. If I'm being bad towards my neighbor, Uburoshi, it is evil. So you cannot come and tell us what to revise, no. Uburoshi takwaba. Shansha, imoba Hakainde, barabiro mwa ikete wada. Tamalanga tuburoshi wale foku miroa. Ngai mwa uburoshi mwa ufunya pochani. Oh no, muntu ngafwa, nishina fwafe. No, nefwa yawa lungu ineturetwa ipusha. Bafwa sha. How can a person not a mwa temenu? A person no mwa reptana gorofitane nemwa. Rero mwise mushike imoba Hakainde. Nicho mwa shikira wa lungu ni chinji. Ati yo because I'm president. No! Walungu bari kwete orupwa. Doreen orupwa adina bena. Ero wapons weke. Ero when he became an ordinary citizen, those are the people that got the rights. Ukushika walungu. We don't have rights. You don't have rights. Even the Zambians, the public interest, yoba Anthony John, you folks that claim. Nah. Why wasn't it public interest when you are stopping Edgar Lungu from accessing medical health? They don't info Lungu even public interest. Why to say no? Because he was president for Lungu South Africa for medical reason. Nisho tamwara ndila tu yumuntu adi to take it. Mlekenyale has to access medical health. Uyumuntu ni public interest, let him go and access it. Echo tamwa ituntu mbwemo bonse bwebale ituntu mbalero ukweba no balungu mubiri wabo were muzambia. Echo when he was alive, why did you not stand up for him and say Hakainde Hichilema, let Edgar Lungu go and access his medical? Because this man worked for this country. But you let Hakainde Hichilema take Edgar Lungu out of the plane. And don't even tell me it was nothing to do with Hakainde Hichilema. No. It has everything to do with Hakainde Hichilema. Everything in this country, the back stops on Hakainde Hichilema. If Hakainde Hichilema issued the word to say, leave him alone, let him go, Edgar Lungu would have been flown out of the country and he would have accessed medical health. Medical care. So everything that happens in this country, the back stops on Hakainde Hichilema. If we have cool God massacre Hakainde Hichilema was on record confessing that he sent the police because they had guns. So the police went in and shot people and people died. It's on record. So everything that happens in this country, the back stops on Hakainde Hichilema. So this notion and this nonsense of saying is a public interest. Hey, Chan, you want to even create situations where you want to claim that the people want Edgar Lungu to umuntu tadire. Umuntu bunga budi pa 500. Echo arafu ida ba Lungu besu bashikro mzambe nchinshi. We're not fools. You want to claim it is public interest. No, it is Hakainde. In fact, Antoli Jolo, go and get it to your David there and say it is Hakainde Hichilema's interest. It is Hakainde Hichilema's interest that Edgar Lungu comes and be buried in the country. Because If the public really cared for Edgar Chagwa Lungu, you could have stood up for Edgar Chagwa Lungu when he was alive. Anyway, Edgar Chagwa Lungu wale fwayo kia mfwayo bumi. Nga mwalimi no kwa Hakainde Hichilema timwe shile keko munonko dekaya fwayo bumi. Hakainde Hichilema constantly talks about how much he was arrested by Edgar Lungu. Tell me at one point did Edgar Lungu stop Hakainde Hichilema from accessing medical help, if at all he needed? But even if he was arrested, Hakainde Hichilema used to travel out. How else did he find himself at BBC? Conducted interview after his arrest, he had treason. He was not stopped from traveling. He could travel out. Okay? Techi mucharo mwe kwata nensodi. Munakere the former head of state. Ay mkui manina. Na ikara so. Alelolela, what's this? Public transport. A former head of state. And you're not ashamed of yourselves as a country? Uwi no mupati ya mwakwe tiri kubalungu. Lelo mwisa mbate mwanaba fobadi mchitumbi. Kutumpoko. Kutumpa. And we should stand with the Lungu family for standing with their own. Because Lungu is their own. And they are the ones that have lost. Edgar Lungu is public interest. When he was standing like that as a former head of state, could embassy, could you even made sure to my instructions that when he comes, don't treat him as a former head of state. Chama fubashikwa na mumpasa ba Edgar Lungu. Chama fiewa shikirwa mumpasa. Mwamba. Chawama. Na ngufema mafunga mwi blankets. Chawamapo. You cannot dignify him when he's dead, when all you've been doing is insulting him. Absolute nonsense. So anyway, that aside, let us listen to this audio of Chabinga. Let us listen, and I want you to pay critical attention to this audio which I'm about to play. Because this nonsense that this government does when everything crops up and say, AI, I've been on internet for too long. And thank God South Africa is more advanced than Zambia. We can just give it to a language, whatever, what's called, fanatic. And then that person can actually determine whether that is AI or not. But that's not even AI. That is an excuse that you wanted to what? To give. But Hakainde Hichilema, all these maneuvers you are doing, Mukala Sevana. These maneuvers that you are doing, now Sevana within the region. First of all, you failed to conduct a funeral from a former head of state. Then when the family decides, okay, let's bury our loved one, what do? You go to court and send a widow, a grieving widow, make a grieving widow stand in court without shame. Without shame. And Hakainde Hichilema has got no remorse whatsoever. He has not, how can a normal human being who are quite conscious, who pepana kudide safi oga chine ne chinka, how can you sit there with your conscience and watch a grieving widow find strength and courage to stand up when the judge comes in to hear? Hakainde Hichilema mwa opino kuri ba lungu baku tumle ruro mubiri wa ba lungu na ba Esther. And you think that is normal? In this country, you think what Hakainde Hichilema did to by Esther is normal? That is a taboo. That is a taboo. You can't. It is not in our culture. It is inhuman. Even the Bible says you have to sympathize with the grieving. You don't go put a grieving widow on trial. You go and put a grieving widow and the family on trial on the day they're supposed to put their loved ones to rest. Na muchalo mwa ikala. Ati, amen sopamu. It's an abomination to fear kwa. Abomination. Two. Unheard of. And you think you've got a president. You think you've got a leader. What sort of a leader is Hakainde Hichilema? Such that he has no heart. How can you do that and say at the same time you want to bury Edgar Lungu with dignity? Yeah? How can you do that? How do you sleep at night with what you did? Where a widow can come out of court, no kuya kukura nkuchechi, mukuya mkurosha, mupera mati ya baru. Mwendera kumo, muri wakashi, muri mpari, aeti garunga mipira mpari. It is unheard of. It is an abomination. And if you think that is normal in this country, God help us. God help us. Takwaba. And this reminds me of what Mwamba said about Hakainde Hichilema. When he went and closed the door. When Mwamba's father died, she narrated how Hakainde Hichilema locked the funeral house. It makes sense. It makes sense. This is not the first time he's doing this because this is a taboo. You can't. I'm sure even the presidents in the region were shocked. And then you want to claim that Chabinga. In fact, wait. Let me show you the video first. This video. Wait, hang on. I'll play this video first. You cannot excuse Hakainde Hichilema. You cannot separate Chabinga and Hakainde Hichilema. No. Benda so. Those 12 missed calls. It is true. He was trying to call him. One for him. So don't treat us like we are fools. We don't see what happens in this country. We see. My mouse is playing up. Right. 1, 2. Right. Okay. You can't. What? Where's my videos? Oh my God, I've got a new computer, so I'm trying to this mouse, you have to be gentle like that to use it. It's an Apple. So anyway, I found the videos that I want to play. So you cannot separate Hakainde Hichilema from Chabinga. You can't. You can't do that. Mwamba. It is stupid to do that. Okay? So this is Chabinga. This is President Hakainde Hichilema after landing in Kasama. This is a time when Chabinga was leader of opposition, okay? And Hakainde Hichilema was telling Chabinga, Manta hiai. And Chabinga's response was, Tuarikara Puakale. Yo. So you cannot separate Hakainde Hichilema from the audio of Chabinga. They deal with it. Look at them. They're best friends. They're best friends. Mwamba, uyu ni Chabinga. Uyu ndi apa Chabinga. Ero video itamwanga isango kurikonse badi dirita. If it's not from chair, it is beans. Mwaiona? So you cannot say no. Actually, let me play that video again. Uyu ni Chabinga. Look at how they are laughing and joking. Eh? Listen to what they're saying. This is how it should be. Mantayai. And today you want to separate Hakainde Hichilema from Chabinga? Absolute nonsense. Look at the composition. Let me pause this. Look at the composition. This is Frank Tayari and all these other ones. Chabinga is the closest to Hakainde Hichilema. Not even his minister Frank Tayari is this close to Hakainde Hichilema. But Chabinga is. Look at the body language. Look at the expressions. Okay? That will tell you the kind of closeness and relationship that Chabinga and President Hakainde Hichilema have. Mwamba. Not even his ministers, not even the Air Force commander at the time, Barry, was that close. But Chabinga was this close to Hakainde Hichilema. Mwamba. Monen, ukubali babadi bari uko? Follow the mouse. Babadi bari uko? All these Chinese investors that were there, bari uko? And on this day, Hakainde Hichilema recognized Chabinga as leader of opposition against the constitution. And this was in 2022, before President Lungu came back into active politics. And he was encouraging Chabinga not to be scared. Okay? So, are you telling me these two, Chabinga and President Hakainde Hichilema, can give ECO a dignified send-off? No! All they want is to dance on ECO's corpse and make a mockery of his death. That's all. You can't have his enemies to bury him. Yeah? Everyone else, Baba Chanokubash. Look, when I once above map. Yeah? But Chabinga was there. Very close. Anyway, let me do this now. I'm trying to learn my computer because it's a bit, right, okay, so, right. Then, we have a situation where, Nadi Karapokani, Mwamba, Kwari Karapoka, Kali. So now, where is the audio? We have to listen to this audio attentively. This mouse is very sensitive. The AI, wait, first of all. Yambire, how can AI? No, we just had that. Did you? Is it the same one?
Yes, the same. I had it like half an hour ago.
You had one?
Yeah, half an hour ago.
And why did you get that one?
In the fridge, where I got the other one.
Eh?
In the freezer, where I got the other one. The last one I had.
That's from the freezer, right?
Yeah.
You can't have from the freezer. You have to let it defrost. Or put it back, put it in the fridge so that it defrosts. And then
Should I get the one from the fridge?
there's no one from the fridge. No, and then you have later. First of all, this starts with where they are even cutting each other. Okay? So you cannot say that's AI. Nala Miranga AI. The difference between this and the AI. So let me play this first.
Networking shishibe ngamasetini ichishibe. I'm sure Marisa nganinge shokumutumene nikuitata.
Nalisanga na kuti mbwashe ine awe chumi.
Martha aisantumina Martha ntini mwamwishiba.
Martha ntini.
We mukashana bomba kuwalands.
Iranya nef sushi.
Mukashana wakashika soma bila.
Yes. I remember that.
Yes. My sister. Therefore, can't get Martha like my son over more limelight, my chiva. I saw missing in action. Yeah, not one of our president race. At national president to PF. That race of Martha. But Chabinga. That. Banjebe chomole futa uka. That, yeah. Martha, chalo chankondo. Chalo chankondo. Edo nomba pa shani paja. Thursday. Wednesday. Oh, you chive. I sat to my phone. Kange first chive alitumine pa Tuesday. Ushiku. Every I'm not to man at Nadila conference for Livingstone. Nishi, you're not a popular stammer Puchibino. That's ya, Sheffield, Fisher Fine. Edo too, you know, if we just as much as today, one by my sister, we know. But feel a chamani that what I'm going to be. No matter how much successful kucha abantu misunderstand that way. Initially, you in a cabin upon your sister one day, 9 points. So I said, okay, in a panda could dinner, but nice to push it, nephew one day, we are put the umbrella tickets. So for that, the nephew can't, Kalabuta that in check organized tickets. We were to mock with our tickets, plus minute to airport. Within 10 minutes, our 2 minute tickets. Namupela na number, Namapela number, to send tickets in India, Mutina, and I'm speaking. So, but bound for a ticket, Yamanika buy. But Africa could your number on Wednesday, in a day, service.
Iranya sushi on them yupsha. Iranya sushi.
Chabinga, alife busy, Pretoria, Kalshani, yo, Shani Kabidi, if Shama someone's that, but special Milananda, but I shot on the shibi. Inga ba Chabinga. By some Moshani, Modiash, the Imo ifoto walilanda ba charity ngana bakutumo abantu bakutuma takwaba wasenda na bamunonko n'abana no ine finonshire kuno ku Livingstone nine wonjishire te program yaba Mwamba nango abana bandi no so nango asuke phone mulefa chishani so no
no me fix sushi fine ufika mu voice note you ni AI ni
nomba bachiba busy nachira for abantu imbi tickets and yara expire lero banse imbi tickets bafere kono kwa kwikana na yine nachawe imota mkote femule chitoko
Ichana chimbi. Chikanga chisu shinga chinga ni. I have no idea. Era 40 on the same time. AI ira sheta.
Number one.
No kumina.
Operation Nashile Kuno. Yeah, boss on a Friday. And it was strictly confidential. I'm not even moved with my ADCs. I'm not moved with my security. You are the only one that.
So, jokes aside, first thing is that Chabinga does not move with ADC. But I got an ADC. Chabinga has a bodyguard that he moves with. Now on this operation, it was strictly confidential and nobody knew. Okay? Such that Chabinga moved alone on this occasion. Mwamba. But the taxpayers, Mama Zambians, agaka kubitiaka. Kale yenda na mabari kapera security okenda nayo. The question is, are you telling me Chabinga could say all these things if he was not given a go-ahead by the boss to do whatever? Mind you, this is the same Chabinga that insulted the diplomats, to which he refused to even apologize. And he was not arrested whatsoever. We challenged the UPN, including President Hakainde Hichilema, to bring Chabinga to order. At a point, Chabinga even told Hakainde Hichilema to say, give me Charo Chino. Now if you don't take her, give it to me. That was treasonous. What Chabinga said was treasonous ways. Told Hakainde Hichilema to give him Ichalo so that I take it to deal with the diplomats. If the UPND government was not working with Chabinga, there's absolutely no way Chabinga can have the balls to address the diplomats in such a manner, such that he refused to apologize. Where he threatened to say, we'll take you as cargo if you continue doing these things. And he told Hakainde Hichilema to say, you're too nice to these people. Mpeni kwa chalo, so that I can deal with these people. Till today, Chabinga was not brought to book. The nonsense that has happened to say Chabinga, they've reported Chabinga against Emmanuel Mwamba's threats. That is an exercise. That is for you guys to give you something. I hate the fact that you don't know how UPN operates or how Hakainde Hichilema operates. That thing of Chabinga has been summoned because he threatened Emmanuel Mwamba and Sushua. Why would he be summoned? Like, look at these guys. I'm right here, but you can hear my voice. Listen to this. Sushua is a critic of Hakainde Hichilema. And recently, Sushua wrote an article of how he thinks they are planning to eliminate him. And he specifically addressed Hakainde Hichilema to say, I'm addressing Hakainde Hichilema and not his pressing us. And Hakainde Hichilema should answer me. And right now, Hakainde Hichilema has not answered Sushua. That's number one. Two, Emmanuel Mwamba is Hakainde Hichilema's critic. Right now, they're saying that he's polarizing the social media. So why would you think Hakainde Hichilema or the government of the Republic of Zambia could entertain the arrest of Chabinga based because he defamed or he threatened Emmanuel Mwamba and Dr. Shishwa? Why would you think that? Why? If Palakasa guys, because Shishwa is the biggest critic of Hakainde Hichilema. Why would Hakainde Hichilema want to help Shishwa? Emmanuel Mwamba is reported that he's destroying the UPND media houses. Why would Hakainde Hichilema want to help Emmanuel Mwamba? So all that, it is just an exercise for you guys that jump into whatever is trending to give you something to talk about so that you forget about this audio. That's all. It will go nowhere. You have seen. They want you to focus on the summoning of Chabinga because of Emmanuel Mwamba, not this audio. Why did they not summon Chabinga based on this audio? Because the information in there is very, very critical. It is an information where the current administration is planning to bribe a judge of a sovereign state. That is very, very dangerous and very, very critical. It brings the diplomatic ties that we have with the South African government into, if they were going to summon Chabinga, they should have summoned him on this, not on those two. Because diplomatically, we've blundered with South Africa. We have blundered. So why are... Because what he has done, Chabinga, I think it's an unbailable offense. So why has the government failed to summon Chabinga in regard with this audio, but they've decided to summon Chabinga based on the fact that he threatened Emmanuel Mwamba and Shushua? Why? Because it's not going anywhere. But let's listen to this.
Okay.
Now what a number I so she said yes. That will allow you to you come and evacuate you from there. Alaisa, in an event of anything, Alaisa now, Johannesburg Metropolitan Police. So when you see that vehicle, so when you see that vehicle, Alaisa Palia, it's a beacon. Just move in and I evacuate from there. So was that shows my consent.
Yes.
You know? So that's what I did. Otherwise, my sister was the only one who was supposed to know that the government that program what we are paying. That to me the phone is 04.
But we know say see it's not them giving that because remember that Kabaya at your naba at Kuno. Number to them for Kisha, that whoever you want see at your whatever to accommodation at 02. Give it to lemu fire. You never nani. So it was at that point you're not able to me a phone that I think stay away could you have could it chive.
No, in
What am I doing? Sorry.
John, had nothing to do with the name.
Yes.
So I didn't even tell you.
Oh,
I said I'll tell you when I've arrived here. Just Nalila Wango. When we met him, after Nakunganda, Narina Kasana, so for Napoleonara. But today, I'm coming for you, don't disturb.
Oh.
My sister, my boss family look to me 2320. Friday, I'm look to me 2340. My boss at ticket to do. My sister,
Na boss Maretuma. I want that bodyguard, Chabinga. It's also a small boy.
So that's how I slept. Now, some Bukazuru 230. The phone. Nasanga, my boss is 12 missed calls. Friday, 30 missed calls. I said, this is strange. Please touch the ticker. So in a put me a security pants and I put more about anyway, bunch of motor Sapan. Maybe the hour. Now work at a moon.
You call that AI?
And just your boss as I online. Just find as I online. Everyone have to be phone to be able to have a boss.
Now, I want you to marry this audio with what President Hakainde Hichilema says. He says he flicks through Facebook. He doesn't sleep. So it is true to say at 0230, when Chabinga woke up, he found the boss online. It is true because he himself Hakainde Hichilema has said these things. He doesn't sleep. So yes, he was online. And because he couldn't get hold of Chabinga, 12 missed calls were enough. So he asked Friday to call Chabinga. Who gave Chabinga 30 missed calls? Are you telling me AI, even if you want to say somebody created that, they will know Friday and the number of calls that Friday gave to Chabinga and the 12 missed calls? AI will just, whoever, because even if you say this was AI is like a way of using Chabinga's voice, but you have to understand there's dialogue here. There is dialogue, and the dialogue is between two people, Doreen Mwamba and Chabinga. And you can hear before Chabinga finishes a sentence, Doreen is in acknowledgement of what Chabinga is saying. Even before he said 12 missed calls in Sembuke, Doreen is said, are you telling me? Because even has to be typed for AI to pick up. Now, Mwamba, I want you to understand AI. If I want to make AI using somebody's voice, the things that are said in here, I have to type. Even the hey, you have to type that in so that AI can go, do you understand? So when you want to create such a narrative, you have to be smart enough to understand how AI operates. There are certain things that AI cannot pick. The acknowledgement in the conversation, you have to make sure it aligns within the conversation. Are you telling me whoever made that sat down and made it such that Doreen Mwamba, before Chabinga finishes a sentence, Doreen Mwamba is in acknowledgement of the sentence? In Zambia, you have such technology. Na kuna kule technology za kwa BI. Mwenye kutikashane. Mwenye conversation yo for end.
But boss, yeah, we were calling, yeah, you have done well, finally. I said, Your Excellency, I was really tired that, mama, wait. They start kulala sana, you know, I need to know.
Hakuna kulala.
Hakuna kulala. So that's something that unalinaka.
You see what I'm saying? But boss Basalanda, Doreen Mwamba, are you sure we have such technology in Zambia such that the conversation can free flow like that with AI? Yeah?
Then he says, call immediately Friday. Or let me ask Friday to call you. So immediately they started drop phone. Friday calls me. That you need to leave for South Africa. Are you able to leave for South Africa in the morning?
Yes.
I said, who am I? It's actually our boss. Who am I? And please.
Conversation of a flow. I want you to listen.
We need to have a meeting in the morning. I said, okay. Okay. We don't put the phone off. My sister 02 said, 04, he calls me back. And the agenda is this and this and this and this and this. Ufuna wanafuwa kwa mingana tla mukoti. Iwini wetu ishime bala wakulumbu na wanafunga shime utila. Utikiwa cha mingana tukunya. I said no problem. So, kabi nomba lolela tucheki ye. Indiki ya mkero. Bache kamasha mcherote. Pali ya mathangza. So, kufaya ba 10 o'clock. You know. So, no, don't worry. This is a special person. I don't need even to be business class. I'll reduce myself. Whether I'm in business or not business. Let me be. My sister, even I'm airlinking. I'm airlinking. Busanga palika totobwe. Varisha kafuswa. Kama zangu za mwa matero. Tabena nikiwe. Kwa kasa mkumposha. wale mpiki anamlembera message nati na papata uisa nsenda patu wala kushwa tuwa kwa embassy na wale hasuka na alembera Friday na Friday ensenda na alafu aweza ni music ya kwa airport don't have mwandi musa Africa therefore tuwafikire na kwa ndio connecting na fubira na kumbi na zitano na ibana baita kwa
yeah. That's when a kafumo Chabinga na tumuka kafumo. Is it thing? Na mwana rufumo roka Chabinga imwe fest. Kai kepi era kare kurira kurufumo. Moye mwana kwa nka tona. Na kena kemi na kurufumo. Impia shanwa ma taxpayers ekare chibura. You can't even stop and have a conversation. It's chewing. Are you telling me? Abareta ipafyonse vyo fini. Badi vika pata pa ufilore dia no grand. Because he's chewing. He's eating. And whatever he was eating, it seems fiari wama son. Because he couldn't stop eating. Throughout the conversation, he was chewing. Nimfopone sushi farting on the side. In Shiva, I don't know who farted between the two. But there's a Murich sushi video. So I don't know who said, okay, at this point, if you don't want to eat sushi, so that's it. Fimoneki, nacho. I have no idea.
Baba shara na bapranka mana kuliku.
Na bapranka mana kwa wale chakina where I'm going. Can't even for ma. So that's why I wish that the thing. So nikashia ni program hiyo. Na chukwisha leo na mteno hasi.
So you South Africa. No wonder they should okutumina normal call.
Yes, that's why so ni murungu pano na chuwela. Ukumeti na shoda tuwapa mpamisha.
I see.
Yes, from Gwenny Oko, initially, Nachingo was joined.
Kasheta. Yes. And you see, Chabinga, really, there was a point where he wanted to join. He was told to join as leader of opposition. This is for sure. The only people that have acknowledged Chabinga as leader of the opposition are no other than Neri Muti and President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND administration. The only people that have got interest that Edgar Lungu's body comes into Zambia is President Hakainde Hichilema. Who is he going to use? He cannot use Mausamba because they're falling out with that Mausamba. And I don't think he can use either Given Lubinda or Nakachinda because look at how Nakachinda exposed the UPND when he was in South Africa. So they can't use those. The only ally that President Hakainde Hichilema has is Chabinga. But this is a person that is claiming to come and bury ECL with dignity. How do you negotiate with the family with this nonsense going on? You even stand there as president of the republic. You constantly lie. Hakainde Hichilema, you lie every single time. And you have no shame or remorse when it comes to lying. You stand there and say and claim you are negotiating with the family. Privately. You even lie to the American ambassador. How do you negotiate privately when you've taken the matter to court? You took the matter to court. How do you negotiate when there's such things happening in the background? But you lie to the nation. And you want to make it like we are the ones that are forcing you that Edgar Lungu should come back into Zambia. No, we are happy for Edgar Lungu to be buried in South Africa, anywhere else, as long as it's not Zambia, as long as you are president of this republic. Because both of you, bari abo mi ba Edgar Lungu. Temwale mfwana, tete mwambia ku mfwana, pachiriro yo. Mwari korofitane nembwa. You were never friends. Why should you now? All you wanna do is dance on his corpse, and that is what I'm saying. You will not have the body. You will not dance on Edgar Lungu's corpse. You will not make a party on his grave. Icona, you will not do it, Lesa Kumulu. You will not. Anyone, in fact, to but going forward, we have to make it Hichilema. Such that le shapo, who are the enemy wako arungu ngaro shapo mbili kupena. Kupena, kufirira munsenga. Going forward, jawale kwa mubidi, uri oze, tupange vya Hichilema, uka yaro shapo mbili kupena. As long as, iwe, tawale mfuara na warungu. Tupanga vya Hichilema, tufirire munsenga. Because na ifo tuwafuma kubantu. Don't think that tuwafishwe fifintu. No, we know these things. But we choose to be with Christ, our Lord and Savior. Mwamba? But if you want, ukufirira munsenga. Chituwafirira munsenga wino feso. Neshita ya sharap. You will not dance on Edgar Lungu's corpse. It shall not happen. It shall not happen, Lesa Kumulu. In fact, Hichilema should take its course now. Chap. Tumanegai. Tuafuma kubantu. We know these things. No. Tekwa broshi. Shanje. No, broshi okubwaba. Let me tell you what happens. Let me do this. You are that no. Tuwara turebo. Mata turebo mbayo. Tebwaro. Muni drink. Now I didn't know I don't know how to call it, so I'm not drinking. Life here so. I keep on saying about these things. Edgar Lungu was a president of this republic who governed this country for almost 7 years. Mamanaka? Umubiri waba Edgar Lungu weda muutuke muistation temubiri wakusalusha. Okay? There's a reason why the Jehovah's Witnesses don't do body viewing. Umuntu ngafu. Mwamfa. Kwali emipashi, shesha kwati emipashi esho abantu bafwaya ukiyasenda ko spirit ya udio muntu ufuire. Noku ifwara ija spirit so that chonse chisumechari pa mubiri wa udio muntu ngakute mwika ate mwika kubekara chalo. In the case of Edgar Lungu, there will be somebody who's gonna wear that spirit of Edgar Lungu and be seen in good light. If in them you are fishing, this happens. That is why nangu umuntu afwa abaya mukusambika ekitumbi lupwa. Munamva? Munakutika? Takwaba fyo kwima batwaya sambika ekitumbi umuntu yawe takwaba. Abasambika umuntu ngafwa are the close relatives. Urupwa. Nena barasa mnamfufuna twa senti anyu umuntu wafo mwatwala kusenta pafuide pabwa a relative present. Mwamfa? You have to be present. Era wa sentani wale time bamu umubiri. You have to be present as urupwa. You have to notice tabasendere ko amara, tabasendere ko emishishi, isha kunshi nesha oku, you know. Tabasendere ko chichonse kumubiri. Now, in the case of President Edgar Lungu, I always say, President Nimfumu. So, you cannot just hand over a body of President Lungu just like that. No! Chimone mandom lerara Lungu. You cannot just dig a grave without the presence of the family. And if they are enemies, they want to kubika mwechintu so that ulompa julani. Imanda tabemba bemba. Ero imanda bemba de ya kushika. Takwa bemanda eo bemba 7 days before bari. Takwa ba. Legeni mbona omwana na what that thought. Let's finish this.
My sister, when you are boss, the next remove you and me, our boss, Pange, to encourage charity, to thank you and to watch the demonstrate. Oh, Japan, Bajaji Bakuno. Baka Panga ruling is based on the public outcry in Zambia to support the Attorney General. Okay. So I'm going to street. Okay. Bana Chinga, Nama Plakasi, over belt. Osaka. This then. You get the point? Yes. Therefore, about the easy for
And you know, now I get it why the ECZ even issued the statement of the regalia. Do you know that the reason they did that, they know that the real PF cannot wear regalia and say bring the body here. If you remember, there's a video in Kasama where women were celebrating in PF regalias when it was announced that Edgar Lungu is going to be buried in South Africa. There were songs that were sung and let him sleep in South Africa. We'll come and get him. Ngaf Mapo HH. So, the reason they refuse people from wearing regalia as well has to do with this audio here. Because with placards, they will just organize the UPND cadres. And they will pretend it's a general public. And put on placards and say, bring the body of Edgar Chagwalungu here. Because the real PF will not accept this nonsense. And the real PF will be clad in Edgar Lungu's regalia in remembrance of Edgar Chagwalungu. So the whole notion, including the ECZ's decision to bar the regalias of Edgar Lungu, trickles down to this video. So that they can just get their cadres and make noise, make noise, make noise. In that way, it will look like it's the public and not the UPND cadres. They're working hand in hand. The executive has got hands in every institution of our country, be it the parliament, registrar of society, judiciary, ECZ. You can see Hakainde Hichilema's hand in all the institutions of government. It is not secret. It is the truth. So, what Chabinga is saying is the absolute truth. This is and was the plan. Until it got exposed.
Nomboko bajaji banayolanda kuti bafirwa government to government kuti bafirwa.
No wonder gonna chef ya upoka Chabinga kansala. Oh. This conversation is 20 minutes. And through the 20 minutes is just chewing.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
So, judge just ruling in their favor. So that is a possibility that we need to look at, but it depends on it.
Head of state na yeye na techa mwane. turn to order.
Now, this is where...
Now, head of state, they mean, Doreen Mwamba means Cyril Ramaphosa. And I hope and pray Cyril Ramaphosa has heard this audio. Because this is a country that is presiding over. And as a country, we ought to be ashamed that we want to go and commit a crime by bribing a judge of a foreign state. This is how far UPND have taken this country. What president is going to be happy when they hear this audio?
There's a component of you is a former head of state. So the judge has to come and look at it, merits and demerits. So there are two things. A judge is not ruling in favor of government. No, what's that appeal which way go?
How to just the appeal.
So that's the first step. Judge are free about the pressure. L40, no Korea, my sister, South Africa, Judge Korea. That's the wrong upon the mistake. Don't I stop you?
The first appeal.
Not the first appeal.
The first appeal.
Now, between you and me, my sister, what is it that you and me will need to argue? What is it that you want to achieve from this partnership? If we're interested, we are working in a kateka or so. Ochano kokuzambi okutila alefwayo umubiri wa munanko wese muchano. So whether to...
Now, remember, since President Edgar Lungu died, I think I've done maybe 1-2 lives since then, I think. I'm not sure. But I've always said, Hakainde Hichilema, even the death of Edgar Chagwa, he wants to make it about himself. Have you heard the whole process? All this that is happening is about cleaning one Hakainde Hichilema. All this nonsense, all this that is happening, it's got nothing to do with dignity or giving Israel a dignified send-off. It has everything to do with cleaning Hakainde Hichilema's image. Even the death of Edgar Chagwa, it has to be about Hakainde Hichilema. It is so sad. Such that people say, no, mrefa, mrefa mudie, shan. If we, it's very good. Play with that. No, you can't play with this. Oh God. I always talked about how it's all about Hakainde Hichilema. Somebody says, stop, just sleep, stop saying our president, useless woman. Yeah. Your president wants to see another president's body. And we should not talk about him. It's always been, even the death of Edgar Chagwa, Hakainde Hichilema still makes it about himself. So it's got nothing to do with being remorseful that President Lungu died or having to, give President Lungu a dignified send-off whatsoever they are claiming with using the Attorney General. No, it's got nothing to do with that. It's about cleaning one Hakainde Hichilema. And they're going to lengths to a point that they have entered a sovereign state to try and abrogate the same way they abrogate our constitution. They want to go into a sovereign state to abrogate a constitution of a sovereign state. And I'm appealing to President Ramaphosa right now. If you are watching this video, if you are listening, South Africans, if you are listening to this video, try and get a translator and so that they can translate to you this audio so that Ramaphosa can listen to this audio. This is your country, South Africa, and let no one come into your country and bend your laws. It is your constitution, and I believe you South Africans, you hold your constitution in high esteem. Not even a president of South Africa interferes with the constitution of South Africa. As in the case of Zambia. So, I urge President Ramaphosa to listen to this audio, and if there is need to engage the SADC chair, engage the SADC chair. Because this that is happening, we cannot be going into a sovereign state. Remember, Mnangagwa once told Putin about Zambia. Our relationship with Zimbabwe is on rocks. And this government, not only did they accuse Zimbabwe of killing President Mwanawasa, they accused Zimbabweans of trying to kill President Hichilema, and those were ministers. The ministers of this UPND government. Now, where does this leave a country like ours? Such that we have a leader of our republic abrogating the diplomatic relationship that we've enjoyed within the region with no remorse whatsoever. Then, as if what you did in Zimbabwe was not enough, you want to go into South Africa because of one Hakainde Hichilema to try and abrogate the constitution of a sovereign state. And this is why you guys, Zambians, you don't understand the implications of this video. What we are doing is wrong as a country. What we are doing, inventing a sovereign nation to go into just because South Africa have been diplomatic enough with Zambians doesn't give us the right as a country to go into their land and try and bribe a judge of that land. You can't do that. And you people that are constantly supporting Hakainde Hichilema, you're putting this country on fire. Because we've not done it in South Africa, we've also done it in Zimbabwe. We are destroying this relationship with our brothers and sisters. All because of one Hakainde Hichilema. And we have you members of parliament, including the UPND members of parliament, such that you are scared of this man that you can't even move a motion of impeachment. These things that Hakainde Hichilema is doing will not only affect the Patriotic Front. No. It will affect the entire country, the entire population, the entire tribes. And this is why you don't understand. It will affect your children and your children's future. Because you cannot keep on letting Hakainde Hichilema do these things and get away with it. The European media aligned pages reported that Waimi was arrested in Zimbabwe. The one question that I asked, did you follow the UN extradition treaties? Or did you go into Zimbabwe and abduct Waimi? And if you did that, were the Zimbabwean authority aware of such incident? That you went into a sovereign state, even if you are looking for a fugitive, if you want me, you say I've committed a crime. You cannot come here in the United Kingdom and abduct me. It will be called as terrorism. You can't go into a sovereign state. Even if you want me, there are procedures on how you can extradite me. First, Attorney General Kabesha has to come to the UK and take me to court and prove that I've committed a crime. And that I will get a fair trial in Zambia. Otherwise, I'll be tried here. You can't go into a sovereign state and just commit things and do things without the knowledge of the authorities of that state. That is why we have jurisdictions. You can do that in Zambia, but if you're looking for a fugitive, you have to establish what is called extradition treaties. present that to the authorities of Zimbabwe. The Zimbabwean authority will arrest that person. They'll take that person to court and present, see, this person committed and is wanted by the Zambian government. And the judge has to make a ruling and sign on extradition of that person. Then you can have that person back in the country. You just don't go in a sovereign state and do whatever you did. By the way, this was reported by the UPND themselves. First course, I said, no, Waimi has added himself to immigration officer. The question is, which immigration officer did Waimi hand himself over? What name? Under what name is that immigration officer? No, he's been arrested, he's coming to. And all of a sudden, no, Waimi, we don't have such a person. But that's a story for another day. What I'm trying to establish here is that we cannot continue being laissez-faire when these things are happening. We've destroyed our relationship with Zimbabwe. And to be honest, Zimbabwe has been so diplomatic enough. Even with the passing of President Edgar Lungu, they had to send a vice president to come and engage President Hakainde Hichilema, overlooking everything that was said by the minister of Hakainde Hichilema that the Zimbabweans were planning to kill him. This is on record, and don't think Zimbabwe did not see those things. They did. But they've been diplomatic enough. Because we are sister nations. But as if that is not enough what was happening in Zimbabwe, what did you do? You want to go in South Africa now. Now here's a scenario. Okay? Here's the scenario. You have, a rocky relationship with Zimbabwe here on one end. And now the South Africans are listening, you're trying to bribe a judge so they can ruin your favor in their country. You're trying to tamper with their judicial system. You see what the problem is? Now South Africa and Zimbabwe will sit and they'll say, we have a problem. Then they'll say, they came in my country and I think they did this. They're coming in my country and they're trying to do this and this and this. And who's going to suffer? You, the Zambian people. It is you, the Zambian people. So you need to understand the implications of such things. Don't just push it at the AI. No. You need to hold Hakainde Hichilema to account. Because whatever he's doing in the name of Zambia. And that includes 20 million Zambians. And if we are not careful, at the rate we are going, we might find ourselves in problems. And if we don't stop and say, this is enough, you can't keep on doing this. Only your children and your children's children will suffer. There's what is called jurisdiction. I've never heard Zimbabwe come into our land and try to get someone by force. I've never heard South African come into our land and try to control the judicial system. It's never happened. Why are we doing this? And why are we not telling Hakainde Hichilema to say, you can't do this, you can't do this? Why are we letting him just carry on putting this country at risk? What happened to the MOU that you signed with DRC Congo? Are you now not in good terms with DRC? We are a landlocked nation. You need to understand we are a landlocked country. We are surrounded. You can't keep on doing these things all in the name of cleaning Hakainde Hichilema. You can't. It's dangerous. You cannot continue like this. Even you, my MPs that are so scared of Hakainde Hichilema,
HH becomes a winner and green. Because the Hakainde politics. Because we have time to defend to say, this president, pushani kwati tushire kyabene mwati mwana
yes
nishto mukirina
yeah kwena ni pressure ushobora ndile pati kuti kwaba kwefya so
no shangilepo bafuka kulia mungu madena na makoksi because of this course
Mwamba
for their winning. They don't matter what mistake. My sister. Asune devastated. Most of the constitutional amendment is not a session of session. Don't pay this ring.
Arana mwishibe cho. Ama MPs na nako kwa scaffold. Ngani yai nede na nako kwa scaffold bebede. Bebe ba minister landeni ko imabara mufila. Yala ba problem.
Alipata pressure na wachungu, pia wachungu, pressure kwa kwetu na wachungu. Mwamba yukusa kongreso mwamba zusatira hawe. Tukuma tulande. Hii tuita kapitela bayo PMD baita. Mbona wale foko kula landa. Unfortunately, none ministers wa mota wale support. Mwamba.
You know for your VP, eh? You know for your VP for our register cross. But you need 3 months notice.
2 months notice.
2 months notice.
Yani vipa sana pa
For your VP, eh?
Yani vipa 2 months of crossing notice and also echipani chifale cha sala umuntu kumwekera yani kosa kwa hili.
Edo ada secretary. Matababi kile chama ndio office babo.
Thank you. Kama kile mtafanya zao. Ndio namba 2 mchimbe wa tena. You see chimbe wa tena na man busy. Chakutira mkwate 20 36. Mkwate 15 ya free fees 46 plus 3. So mkwate over 35 6 for free. So plus 10 nomination 45. So what happened that no? So the president has 45 MPs before anything else. So okay, when the president was so short. You hear the point? Kasuna mistake hapa ngine. Kwa alama NGOs yale bomba na Rangare Mara support na supporting constitution what na NGOCC. Bali pangine budget.
My NGOCC. Yeah, Pwanombe. Now, I always said about the NGOCC. I told you about the NGOCC. So, this is the point. That is not AI. That is Chabinga's voice. And Doreen Mwamba's voice. And all this is being done to cleanse Hakainde Hichilema. Because look, Hakainde Hichilema, naba sevana, ichalo chonsi. Mwamva. Hello, ukukire na walera ndati ukukiza. Na achina mshimikira pali ida story. Now let me go back to the story. Na achina ndati umuntu ngafwa. Especially high profile people. As in this case, President Edgar Lungu. Umubiri wabo asked access who owns every Jim and Jack should access that board. I'll tell you what happened. When Masaga died, okay? Me, the only president that I've done ever, of the president that I've died, that I've done body viewing Yama presidents, is Michael Chilufya Sata. I can assure you. Because me, the moment I viewed his body, I almost collapsed. I almost fainted. Something just came. It's like, for some reason, I didn't know. It's hard to explain what happened. And one police officer came to me, told me to sit down, and said, Warole shapote? Mwiraro le shapo fintu fimo. You know, one police officer kura kumulungu shikuri said that ikala apa wala apona.
Can I get the cookie now, please?
Abe ngina abapona sana. Okay? And I knew that udo mubiri wa ikere pada te mubiri fie. Okay? Those are kings. All right? So, I'm telling you this so that you understand the importance of Edgar Chagwa Lungu's body. It's not every Jim and Jack, including other politicians, not just Hakainde Hichilema, that who should have access to Edgar Chagwa Lungu's body. No! Mind you, when Edgar Lungu came back into active politics, he became popular than President Hakainde Hichilema. And he was still popular. I don't know what happened. I've said what happened in 2021. But the love, the natural love that he harbored from the Zambian people, that love is something that we need to guard with jealousy. Because anybody can occupy that love through what? Occupying his spirit. That's why they had to stop him going from anywhere. It is the reason they stopped Hichtumbi Chakwe because a lot of people will come and mourn here. So Edgar Lungu naturally was loved by the Zambian people. And don't come here and tell me the nonsense. Why did he? There was like a fifi in 2021. So his body is not a body that every Jim and Jack should access. Worse off his enemies. Okay? Because when a person dies, the spirit still hovers around. And the people in the Shivin enemies will try and inhabit that spirit. No kufuara chide chinso cha balungu na ile light ya mapali balungu kuifuara yonse. Mwana dabu afi mwamba kutemo muntu okwayo kulikonze. Okwayo kulikonze mwadabu. These things happen. Na nguveni mufyupo fira chitiko muntu nga opempa lishibiri. Wadabo mukashimu aiche, are umfira jerasi umukashimu mukuru. Aya fuara light ya mukashimu mukuru. Awa rweba pata umukashimu mukuru bate mwisho omu aiche. Fira chitike fifintu. So, the way Edgar Lungu with his returning to back into politics, you saw. Edaba in there CBD, Edaba in there na JJ Banda. You saw what happened. That's why he was being refused going anywhere. Oko bayo kuri konse. Kwale bakawe de kawe. So, anybody, and I mean anybody, can inhabit that love, that spirit. Ichakweba ati. Na my elections, vye Mwamba fe mukuvota mure murapo fe Edgar Lungu so. Nyaba pene kufuantika. Even them fishing ka. Wa mkuvota ore muna chiso chakwa Edgar Lungu wabika po wachonga. That is why it is important that you protect that body, because that body harbors the secret to 2026 elections. Even them fishing, you dare make this mistake? Umwaka fuade chiso chakwa Edgar Lungu. Mkaramu kuvota so. Ure muna Edgar Lungu wachonga ni Edgar Lungu. Ndame wachina net shink. Why do you think some people have been exposed since Edgar Lungu's death? Because the spirits they were using has gone back to the right for honor. If you think afuara spirit ya munobe, light ya munobe, urio afuari the spirit ngafwa, ida spirit ida fuma ya bwerera. To get back that spirit for watch a body viewing. Even never fishing ka. Monfwa. If we don't want to try body viewing, that is important. That's why it's important for some people to do body viewing. For that spirit to return to you, you have to go. No kurandirira mashiwi. No kurandirira mashiwi ni shiwa sta inhabit that spirit. Ya kurabo mfya fino mboku dikonso mwana mwana fyo muntu. Na ngwale ndefya ukuba. Na send spirit ya kwa rungu. Mwamule mwana maferungu. And that shall not happen. It shall not happen in Jesus' name. It shall not happen. That's why for turera ndati. Ba Edgar Lungu na bashike fwe ku South Africa. Chila muntu agonjwe spirit yako. This time around in 2026. chamuntu kubonja spirit yakwe pakuina ma elections takuru kubonja ya mnobi Mwamba takuri wala bonja spirit yakwa Edgar Lungu kuina ma elections turefwaya nomba turmuone vis-a-vis chamuntu abonja spirit yakwe abonje. No one has to inhabit somebody's spirit to win elections in 2026. No. That is why that body is important. That's why it's important. Hey, Pookie. It's not the movie away yo. Imobere for bamisurishe, bamirange no. Umubiri uja. Yawe. No. That body is important. That's why they are throwing everything to access the board. You've seen everything to access the board. You ole mukuvota, urevota ole munapochizo cha barungu. Mama. And we don't want that, and we are praying to God that chila muntu awonfyo mpashi wakwe. Pakuba pa ballot paper. Tumone kai. Na Yesu Kristo. If I was added there, I would tell the judge that you are judge, you are African. You know that presidents are like kings. And you can't just give a president's body to his enemy. Takwa. In courts is logic and things like that. But even the judge understands. Even Ramaphosa understands the importance of Edgar Lungu's body. Bonsama president one region, they understand the importance of Edgar Lungu's body. They're in politics, they know these things. If your popularity has not come from God, where else does it come from? Ask yourselves. You think people just go into politics and shine? No! Let's an issue with the devil. Mama. Okay, there are only two things in this country, in this world. God, you choose to. Either go with the devil or God. Chop. So, mwisu kamenso ya kumupashi muzambi. Eronga mwisu kamenso mupashi. Ambenyu kupepa. These accidents that have started again, cancel them in Jesus' name. Mwisu lava Yesu Kristu. Cancel the spirit of accidents. Today in the month of October, August, there will be sacrifices. The National Day of Prayer will be disturbed. We need to pray. So, stop focusing on wrong things and pray to God. Pray very hard. Such that God can help us. Muikwate ubunangani bwa kupepa yo mucharo chesu cha Zambia. Seek the face of God and let God be the driver of this country. And God will help us choose a leader that will be God-fearing, a leader that will have ichikuku chabena Zambia. A leader that uamkwatile nkumbu. Mwamona. Don't worry about it. Oh, are you endorsing Shansha? No. A David is already there. A David has already been chosen. A Joshua has already been chosen. Moses took us, made us go across the Red Sea. But he didn't make us enter the promised land. But Joshua was born in order for us to enter the promised land. So, mwisekamana yo mwema Zambians. Edgar Lungu is guarded with jealousy, and that it is not brought in Zambia and it is buried in South Africa or anywhere else. Then victory is certain. You can't have such people and say we are going to give Edgar Lungu a dignified send-off. You can't. It's impossible. What time is it? Maybe I can open the phone lines a little bit. 2105. Ekeni nisile kwa mama phone lines aini mulande kukale twashimike paini na apiwa no kupiba. Mulantunkira kumtima. Ekeni nisile ma phone lines mwandi na isambule phone. Yeni muntu meko hapa na imulandeko. Kai to ani milang for 30 minutes na imumshimikeko. Kai to ashimike before I close because I was about to close. No, Zambians need to open their spiritual eyes. Because without God, this battle you can't win. And only God can help us. Lesa fia mwine kumurewinga twa. No mai mumrefu kula suri sheshina de abaya. Mwina suri sheshina de abaya we yo. Wana yo ina issue. Na ungeze fe mairo wine. Cause why da? Phone calls. Pande nganaamba ma phone calls ya yarapo insta. Maybe 1 or 2 wine. Go on. I did. It was nice. Kwaka wanoka. Why you PNG? Wampisha no kumpisha. No, but on a serious note. You know? With this that you are supporting, including mobile UPND, is not right. You can't go into a sovereign state and start bribing judges. Eh? You can't. You can't do that. But you can't. So the number to call is +44 7793 099569. Can you pick up? Yes. +44 Anyway, you can call that number if you want to call. Maybe just few phone calls, we call it a night. You have to be a Did I few phone calls? Okay. I think she's typing there. Finish the type. Go on. Yes, +44 7793 099569. She's the type nani hapa. Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow. I'll try to be live tomorrow. Nishtaira nchepera. Right. Iyo number na vikapo. Akutumina. So that's it. Let me just allow a few phone calls. Alright. Okay, Pookie. Let me in it, sweetheart. Yeah, so you can call in. Just don't go do badush. I'm not going out, baby. Kari na ya shape phone indaishimya. Cause ama phone calls tayaputuka. Storage is full. Hey. Let's change the clear. Hello. I can't hear you, baby. Come close. Somewhat? Okay. Let's check what your brother's doing. Is there no paper there? Why did you go in? Funny enough, you should have my messages. I don't know if I'll be able to get the phone calls. Hey. Select one. Jesus. Let me just delete some videos in here. There's so many videos. Media. Create some space in WhatsApp. And you can allow phone calls. Wait. I'm not getting you. I'm just closing the door. You're right, Lionel. I've not used this phone in a while. Sorry for my want to call this. The number we couldn't get in the first place. Now you try again. 779309569. Try again. Now you should have a WhatsApp. So I'm just about to delete some stuff. No, better than that motherfucker. Motherfucker in it. So let me ban this idiot. Actually, let me block this person. You come here to insult. In a motherfucker. What are you shiru? I like your phone. Which phone? This one or that one? Kadi poka phone yak. Ish. My WhatsApp Mwamba. Yes, that's so. I can't pick up calls because it's deleting stuff. Look. I know, Cindy. Oh, in a minute. Let's give it a minute because there are about 9 point something GB of. I don't use. This phone is usually off. Because if it's on, I won't have sanity. So I turn it off. I only turn it once in a while. So number 9 Isula. Send deleting stuff. I can't pick phone calls. The number, I've pinned the number down. You can't see where I've pinned the number. When you are hit with the proper analysis, you start insulting. Let me try and restart the phone. It's just deleting. Pookie, you can't stay there. Let me restart the phone. Oh God. Imo number ile hapa Mwamba, I've pinned the number. Tamula imo na inch pini. I've pinned it in the chan. Yes, it's there. Pookie. Let's allow some calls. Then we call it a night. When I tell you, when you live dangerously, your problem. Leave that. That's not yours. Play with your toys. Okay, no, you can't go there. Come be here, baby. Come here. I'm trying to restart the phone. If not, guys, you can there. Let me. Maybe I'll sort it out. Then tomorrow I would have cleared the phone, because now it's like this. That's what I'm getting. It's WhatsApp calls. The number only get WhatsApp calls. Okay, now it's starting. It's turning on. Let's try. Let's try. I can get some missed calls, like people have been trying to call. Only call on WhatsApp though. Only call on WhatsApp. Let me take maybe 1 or 2 phone calls. Since Karen and Hichilema live. Right. I think I've cleared the dates. Yeah, so now it's my phone calls. Hello? 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 Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Hi. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, please, and be fast.
Okay. So, I have a question for you, since you analyze politics. So you've been analyzing politics in Zambia for some time now.
Yes.
So, my question is, because if you understand politics, it seems like in Zambia we are running out of solutions. Like the solution of the ballot paper seems to be fading out, because we have a situation whereby the Zambian people have lost interest in the police. The Zambian people have lost interest in the courts. The Zambian people have lost interest in the ECZ.
Yeah.
So, according to the efficacy of war, the possible solution could be a civil war. We like it or not. So, I mean, to avoid a war, what would be the measures that the Zambian people can put in place?
So you see, what we have been doing, like for the past 4 years, is trying to ensure that imitimasha abantu shaikara punch. You've seen, because we want to avoid a situation of what you have mentioned. My being here, for example, listen, my being here, for example, has been all in the quest to ensure that Zambians firstly understand what is at stake, and they understand the implications of where we are going. Okay? Yes, we have institutions that are being infiltrated and being, they're not independent. But I'll give you an example. If we apply the Petauke situation in all the 10 provinces, there's absolutely no powers will ECZ exercise. Yes, ECZ may look like it's got powers now with the by-elections and whatnot. When it comes to the general elections and when people are resolved, not even the ECZ can change the outlook of the Zambians' decision. The Petauke was a good example to tell you that when people are resolved, nothing can be changed. So what we need to do as a people, first of all, we need to unite with one cause, okay? Because the European government are using a divide and rule. If you look at what is happening with the social media itself, all these prominent Facebook bloggers, they are mute on matters that are really, really concerning the Zambian people. All these people that you see, my bloggers, my musicians, they are mute. You've seen. So it tells you that first of all, they are trying to target all those influential people that could have a voice to influence the Zambian people to make an informed decision. And they've actually succeeded to to do that. And how are they doing that? Obviously, some they're being given contracts to supply this, and if anyone is given a contract, they won't speak. So we are a few of us that are speaking, and it's at times like this when we come live that the world, the country should pay attention to the things that we're doing. I'm not taking time away from my children to come here because I want to be seen. No, because I understand the things that are happening in our country, and I want to stand by my country. I take risks, I take time away from my children to do what I do. So it takes now you people, you the Zambians, to recognize what I'm doing and say, this lady, what does she get in doing all this? Staying up 2 hours whilst the baby is here, looking after the baby. It is the questions that you Zambians have to ask yourself. What's in it for this girl to do what she's doing? Because if I want, I can stay away and enjoy my life where I am. It tells you the dangers of what is happening in our country and how much I personally care for this country and its people. So you have to start recognizing voices like mine and listen to my voices when I'm speaking, because it's not a voice of just munione. It is a voice that understands what is happening in our country. And if only you can recognize such voices, Lydian Mutambo and the others, Queen Impumi, Emmanuel Mwamba, those are the voices that are mattering in this country. And if we can unite and make this voice as one, trust me, victory is certain. There are people that have been bought, influential people. That's why they are quiet. They're not speaking, and they're pretending that they're not seeing these things. So it is now you, the Zambian people, to start recognizing such things. You see there's an audio like this that happens, and then what comes is pornographic movies being released. It is all to distract your attention. They know that Zambians so will jump into it. So what I'm telling you is that do not lose hope. There's still hope, and not even an ECZ. Okay. Yeah.
But now, there is a fact which no Zambian today can deny. The fact is that the Zambian people view the government of Zambia as a criminal institution.
Yeah.
And due to that, it's very difficult today to convince any Zambian who has a healthy mind to tell him that the Zambian government is a government which you can trust. And because of that, we are in a brink of Zambians to decide to say, okay, let's take. Because, as I've told you, Zambians, they don't trust the police, they don't trust the court, they don't trust the government. Meaning that if a Zambian commits a crime, it doesn't want to be tried by the court because the court are not trustworthy. So now there must be, these politicians that we have, all of them, yeah.
Where are you calling from?
You must understand that from the time of Kaunda, we've changed. Can it be anonym? You can see my number. So
yes, I know you're not calling from Zambia. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, just keep it for yourself. So, yeah. So, we as Zambians, we are fed up to be told all these excuses. Yeah, to be told, no, the government is corrupt. No, the other government was corrupt. The Zambian people have heard that, and now there must be a last solution, which the Zambian people now would say, okay, if we change the government, we can trust that government. Because the government of Hakainde Hichilema has been an insult to the Zambian people, a pure insult to the Zambian people. This audio that has come about is just one of those things. There are many things that Hakainde Hichilema has been doing, and we have just let him like that. So, we are not stupid. We are not fools. We can decide to sacrifice our life. We can decide that. Enough is enough.
I think let's pray that it doesn't get to where lives. I think that's what President Lungu was the... Sorry, babe.
The Zambians, they have to get rid of Hakainde Chilima. Failure to
No. There is a solution. This is what President Lungu was trying to avoid. You have seen. And if you go to that extent, you are going to insult the memories of Edgar Chagwa Lungu. You see, there was going to be some civil unrest in 2021. Edgar Lungu handed over power in the quest to stop that civil unrest from happening. And we should maintain that. You see, we shouldn't start thinking in those lines. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. And this is not over. That's not the last solution. We will go to the elections. We will go to the elections in 2026. And Zambians will decide. Zambians, they're not down. They're not docile as people portray them. They see what is happening. And when the time comes, they will decide. And that decision will be made in 2026. So let's not preach that for now. Let me pick up some other calls.
Do you yourself trust the ECZ?
No, I don't trust the ECZ. That's why I've been speaking.
So why should the Zambians waste their time?
No, they're not wasting their time. They're going to vote, and the ECZ, the same ECZ, will usher in a new president. Trust me. Thank you. Let me pick up some other callers. So the number to call is +44 7793 099569. I've put the number down there. That's the number to call. You see. No, we will vote. We will vote. And the same ECZ, the same ECZ will usher in a new president. The same way, Petauke, the same way they lost Petauke is the same way they are going to lose. Sorry, I have to cut these phone calls because I'll come tomorrow, and maybe tomorrow I can open some phone lines. So don't forget to pray. God bless you. God bless Zambia, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.